John Crutchfield here, and excited to talk to y'all today. We're going to talk today about one of the number one factors that makes the difference between a successful real estate investor and somebody who gets into it, gets out of it, gets into it, gets out of it. Maybe they never really have traction or success. And really, y'all, I think that this is going to help a lot of people that are interested in getting started, or maybe you've gotten started, you're having some of the initial challenges. Maybe you've gotten really big like I did, and maybe you're having some challenges from massive growth. But the mindset that you have to have as a real estate investor is different than the mindset you have to have in a lot of things. And so today, I really want to jump into this one thing that I think we could talk forever about, but it really is the difference between people that I see that get into it and they're really successful and people that get into it and they never really go anywhere. And first things first, I'm John Crutchfield. If you're watching this, you probably have seen we've got a bunch of content online. If you're listening to this, you can find us anywhere that you listen to podcasts. It's called the Grab the Map podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, then you already know where we are, but you can find the Grab the Map podcast on YouTube as well. And I thought I would just make a video about the mindset you need to have as a real estate investor about this one thing. Okay. How you respond to failure. For people that, are high achieving W-2 earners, if you don't know my story, I was a public school teacher. I was a principal of a school. I was a professor at Ole Miss in Oxford, Mississippi. I have a doctorate degree. I went through the traditional path of education and kind of moved up. And as I moved up, really was common for me to get awards and to get thank yous and to get praise and to really be considered a success in the K-12 education space, the higher ed education space. I got Principal of the Year one year, and that was really cool for the whole community to come out and support the work that I was doing at Humes Middle School in Memphis, a great historically high performing area downtown that needed a transformation. I got 3 wonderful years working there with some great teachers. But I think when you are performing in a high stakes environment like that and you're just used to success, your attitude towards failure can get warped, right? Because you don't really ever fail. You're constantly achieving, you're constantly hitting higher goals. If you have a bad day, people might not even notice in that environment. And so, one of the things I think that happens for a lot of people, whether you're a high income W-2 earner or whether you are just somebody who's used to succeeding at most things you do in life, you really start to exaggerate what failure looks like. Okay. You start to exaggerate what failure means and what failure can or cannot do for you. My biggest fear, even to this day, is failure. I'm going to go out of business, or I'm going to lose a property to foreclosure, or we're going to mess up something, or we're going to get sued for a whole bunch of money and not be able to recover it. These are real things that go through my head all the time, right? And I think if you're a new investor, commonly it's, do I have enough money? Do I have enough time? If you are a real investor, or you're getting started, you have all of these thoughts about what failure means. And I think if you're still watching this, and I want you to watch this whole video because I'm going to give some nuggets. If you could transform the way that you feel about failure and transform the way that you look at everything you go through, not just in your real estate business, but in your life, differently, the possibilities are endless for what you can accomplish. Y'all, as a real estate investor, I think I like to talk about just doing the work. I like just talking about doing the work. And so let's talk about that first. What's the work of being a real estate investor? Like real talk. What's the work? You've got to be talking to sellers. Okay, this is number one. You want to join one of our 90-day challenges. We talk about talking to sellers every day. Okay. You've got to be making the offers, right? When you're talking to these sellers, you got to put it out there. This is what I'll pay you for the property. You've got to figure out a way to make as many offers as possible, whether it's single family, commercial, multifamily, whatever your asset class is. I generally like good deals regardless of the asset class. I do mostly single family, some multifamily, but I am absolutely telling you that you have to be making offers because offers brings back opportunity. Offers makes people remember you. You got to be making offers. You've got to be meeting other investors. This is a lonely game. This is a lonely business. And you've got to be in rooms where other investors that are taking massive action are so that you can stay motivated, stay encouraged, and get past the no's so you can get to the yes. You're going to get a ton of no's. Okay. You're going to get a ton of no's. And you want to keep getting no's because the no's are giving you feedback to help you get to the yes. You also absolutely 100% have to be learning all the time. I love that you're watching this video. I love that you're listening to this on YouTube. I absolutely love that you are engaging in education. And that is a key in order for you to be able to make a plan and adjust your plan. That is absolutely a great idea. But what you really need to do, okay, there is the type of failure that comes from not doing the work. Okay. And then there is the type of failure that comes from doing the work, but doing the work wrong. Okay. There's also the type of failure that comes from doing the work right. Uh-oh. Okay. So you have the type of failure that comes from not doing the work. You have the type of failure that comes from doing the work wrong. And then you have the type of failure that comes from doing the work right. And what most people think of when they think of failure, they think of the failure that comes from doing the work right. They think if I give all of my effort 100%, it still might not work out. Or if I did all I can and if I do everything I can, I still might not make any money. Or if I put in all my time and energy, I still might not make what I want to make, or I still might not be successful in this. And I'm going to tell y'all this. If you look at any area of your life, okay, where you're not happy, your failure came from doing the work wrong, or your failure came from not doing the work. In no area of your life where you're successful, okay, you hear what I'm saying? In no area of your life where you're successful did failure come from doing the work, okay? Now, you might say, I gave it everything I could, and I put in all these hours and I put in all this time. If that is the case, if you really look at the areas that you're successful, it might be your health, might be your business, might be your family, you will notice that there were tons of failures all throughout that process. There was failure at the beginning, there was failure in the middle, there's probably still failure that happens from time to time. It's your attitude towards that failure that causes you to have the opportunity to adjust and become successful in that area. If you want to get really good at this, is you really need to start looking at failure differently. Okay. If you've been watching my content, you might notice it's early 2025 when I'm recording this, and I'm aiming to lose 100 pounds in 2025. And it's a journey. It's a journey, y'all. I'm trying to eat better, trying to cut out the sugar, trying to exercise more. I'm trying to be fit. And hey, y'all, it's a struggle. Okay. I'm down 57 pounds. If you're listening to this in the last year, lost 57 pounds. People will say, man, you didn't look like you were 359 pounds. Yeah, I got up to 359 pounds at the age of 37 years old. And I think that when I look at the failure that occurred in my health, man, the failure of saying I was going to eat better and not eating it, saying I was going to work out more and not working out, saying I was going to stop eating when things were stressful or I had emotions that were going on, but doing it anyway, building some of the wrong relationships and keeping some of the wrong relationships for way too long, eating whatever I wanted all the time without tracking it or caring about how much stuff I was putting in my body. All of those could be looked at as failures, right? But I'm having a lot of success right now in this area because I'm adjusting to the failures. Okay. I'm adjusting from not doing the work and I'm adjusting from doing the wrong work. And I think that you want to make sure that you look at failure as an opportunity to either correct yourself not doing the work or to do the right work. Okay. If you look at it that way, you never have to fear the failure that comes from doing the work. Okay. Because if you do the work right, you will do the actual work and you will fix when you do the work wrong. And if you do that over and over again, if that becomes your process, okay, if that becomes your process, you will actually end up always failing by doing the work right. Okay. And that constant process of failing and repeating and adjusting, making a different move is what you need to have happen over and over again in order for you to be a successful real estate investor. Hey, you want to know, like, just real talk, why people actually quit real estate investing? Do you want to know why people quit real estate investing? People quit investing in real estate because they fail for not doing the work. Let's talk about that. Okay. If you're not willing to talk to sellers, if you're not willing to talk to other investors, if you're not willing to make offers, if you're not learning all the time, if you're not reflecting every day on your process over and over again and saying, okay, I need to talk to more sellers, I need to make more offers. If you're not fixing that process and constantly making that process and constantly taking that step, eventually you won't get the results you want and you'll give up and say, that doesn't work. Okay. The truth is that does work. It's just that you weren't doing the work. The truth is that your failure didn't come from doing the work, okay? Your failure came from not doing the work. And I see this over and over again. I've experienced this in my own business. I can tell y'all right now, I've experienced this in my own business. Can attribute times where I've been very successful and I've closed lots of new business and I've brought in lots of new investors into my company and we've grown massively to times where I was doing the work the way I was supposed to be doing the work. And I can attribute lots of times where we slipped backwards or when we make mistakes to times where I wasn't really doing the work. And it can be easy to feel like you're doing the work when you're not doing the work. It can be easy to talk about doing the work when you're not actually doing the work. Anybody ever been guilty of that? And I want to give you some practical tips today for how to deal with failure, okay? And not just talk about the mindset, but give you some practical tips today for how to actually do the work, how to make sure that you're actually doing what you know you need to be doing so that you don't have to worry about the failure that comes from not doing the work. Step one, okay? I will say this over and over again, okay? You need to schedule the work. You need to have a work day that's scheduled with exactly what you will be doing every hour of every work day. We talk about designing the perfect week. We talk about designing perfect schedule. I like to tell people that if you want to be successful at anything, you need to schedule the work. Okay. This means that when it's time for you to work on your real estate business, when it's time for you to grow your real estate business, it should be on your schedule that way. You should have it scheduled that you're going to work on your real estate business at that time. If you're doing this part-time, then schedule it on the times where you're not working your other job. If you're doing this full-time, your schedule should be full, okay? Whether you're an early bird that likes to work from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m., or whether you like to have the freedom to sleep till 11 and work till 11 p.m. at night, you should have a schedule that reflects the real estate activities that you're going to be doing every time you claim to be a real estate investor. Okay. What does this mean? This means that when you have real estate investing activity scheduled, you're not doing other things that don't actually produce results as a real estate investor. This includes going to lunch with your spouse or girlfriend. This includes picking up your kids or taking your kids. This includes washing clothes or running errands or talking to your friends, playing golf, going fishing, going bowling. This includes any of those things that are distractions from you during your workday. If you're going to be scrolling on your phone and you just love to scroll on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, wherever you find your content, schedule that, but don't schedule it during the time that you're going to be real estate investing. Okay. If you're going to be real estate investing, make sure that you schedule your real estate investing work. This is going to help you avoid the failure that comes from not doing the work. After you schedule it, second thing you absolutely need to do, okay? You absolutely need to track how many offers you're making, okay? You can tie your success as a real estate investor to how many sellers you're talking to and how many offers you're making, okay? If you are not making any offers, it's 100% true that you will not get any deals. Whether you're wholesaling, whether you're flipping, whether you're buying rentals, it's impossible to make progress as a real estate investor if you're not making offers. You can make offers yourself. You can make them through a virtual assistant. You can make offers through a real estate agent, but you have to be making offers. And so one of the easiest things you can do, in addition to scheduling your week, is to actually track at the end of every week, how many offers did we make? At the end of every day, how many offers did we make? Okay, that number might start off at 1 a day, 2 a day, 5 a day, but you eventually want to increase that number to 50 a day, 100 a day, okay? And when you start increasing your number of offers on a consistent basis, you will find that deals will come back to you, okay? You will find that opportunities will start to come your way. They might not accept your offers initially, but those offers will be looked at again and came back to. I can't tell you all how many times as an investor, people have come back and they have said, hey, are you still willing to sell that or still willing to buy that property for this price? Okay. It happens all the time, but we make lots of offers every single day. We count how many offers that we're making. And you should absolutely do the same thing. The third thing that you can do to avoid the failure that comes from not doing the work is to surround yourself with people that are doing the work. We used to do this when I used to work at the college. We used to have these group sessions where we would all get together and study at the same time or write at the same time. And the reason that we did that is because it gives you motivation when you are in the room with people that are doing the work all of the time. You might want to not study, or you might want to not work out. If you take a buddy or if you schedule a planning session with somebody else, it will greatly and drastically increase the effort and the likelihood that you will actually attend whatever it is that you're trying to do. Whatever you're trying to do is increased when you actually spend time with other people that are doing the work. Too many people that are first getting started in real estate try to spend all their time with other people that are not doing real estate deals. Okay. You need to spend your time with people that are doing real estate deals. When you spend your time with people that are doing real estate deals, you will find that they're doing the real estate activities all the time. What are they doing? Talking to sellers. What are they doing? Making offers. What are they doing? Talking to other investors. What are they doing? Learning about real estate investing. And so it's impossible for you to spend a lot of time with real estate investors who are actively doing deals and not eventually start doing the activities of a real estate investor. You come to my office, I'm going to put you on the phone and tell you to start making calls, right? If you are spending time with me, you're going to hear me on the phone talking to sellers. You're going to hear me on the phone making offers. You're going to see me interacting with my team as they make offers and talk to sellers, because I know that those activities are what produce results for real estate investors. So you've got to also get in the room. There are local real estate meetups all around you. Look at sites like meetup.com, Google places where real estate investors meet. Look at Facebook groups where you can jump in groups, look for people that are also doing real estate investors. Go spend time with them. Go on their projects. The next time you drive by a project where somebody's renovating a house, go inside and find out who the project manager is, find out who the owner is. Start spending time with people that are doing deals in your market. This helps you so much as a real estate investor. Geez, another way to avoid the fear of failure, okay, that comes from not doing the work is to just do the work. Okay. I think that this cannot be underestimated. When you're not sure what to do, I actually had a student message me last night in frustration, and she is doing the work. Okay. When you're doing the work and you're waiting on the results, I promise you the success is right around the corner. Okay. If you haven't made 100 offers, keep making offers. If you haven't made 1,000 offers, keep making offers. You keep doing the work because the work produces the fruit. One of the things that I've noticed in my own business is why when people ask me what type of properties I buy or what I do, I always say I buy good deals. I own single family houses. I own apartments. I own storage buildings. I own warehouses. I own a hotel. I own all kinds of different assets because I learned that when I'm doing the work and when I'm making offers, I don't always control what opportunity comes to me. I don't always control what asset type comes to me, but I do control whether I'm doing the work. Okay. I do control whether I'm making the offers and making the calls. And so when an opportunity comes, I get to look at it and say, is this something that is worth my time and effort? I had a lady call me this morning. She's got some land that, frankly, she overpaid for, but she called me because of a meetup that we did locally here in town. You know what that meetup is? It's doing the work. She came to the meetup, had a great experience meeting people on my team and meeting members of our community. And she wants to become a coaching student, but she also wants to do a deal together. And so I can't control that deal. I can't control what she brought. This is a land development deal where we'll probably end up building some new construction houses. I can't control that, but I could control whether we did the meetup. I could control whether the meetup actually took place consistently, whether there's 5 people there or 100 people there, that we actually have the session. It's so easy, y'all, for me right now. I've got an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old. It's so easy for me to cancel a meeting and just say, I'm going to go home and sit on the couch with them and watch them play their video game or watch a little show with them or play a little board game with them. That's so easy for me to do. Or at 7 p.m., I could be at that meetup, telling my story, listening to their story, and building connections and relationships. This is the work of real estate investing. And sometimes when things are not going the way we want them to go, and we know we're doing the work, avoiding the fear of failure that comes from not doing the work means that you continue to do the work. It means that you continue to make things happen, even when things aren't happening yet, right? You continue to work, do the work, even when things aren't happening yet. I think that this is so important, y'all, because so many of y'all that maybe have gotten to this point in the video have been, you've been through this, right? You have been through losing time to making calls and sending direct mail that people call you and curse you out for sending, or putting up signs and not getting any calls. But the greatest feeling comes when you keep doing the work and then you finally get the result. And you're like, wait, so I worked for a whole month and I couldn't find a deal, but then I got the deal on the last day of the month. And a $0 month turned into a $30,000 month. That's a beautiful thing, y'all. Real estate investing has the power to change your life if you do the work. Okay, let's go into some practical steps for how to avoid the failure that comes from doing the work, okay, but doing the work wrong. If you do the work wrong, you will have setbacks. And I will tell y'all this. I know a lot of real estate investors, thousands of real estate investors all across the country. All of them have done the work wrong. I have done the work wrong. If there is no bigger superpower for a successful real estate investor, it is doing the work wrong. I know none of us want to do the work wrong. None of us want to lose any money. None of us want to lose any sleep. None of us want to have to rebuild. None of us want to have to redo anything. None of us want to do anything that we have to go back over. But the truth is, the most growth that you'll ever experience comes from when you make the mistake and you do it wrong. Yes. When you use the wrong contractor, when you pay them first before they do anything and they run off with your money, when you build the wrong property and put it in the wrong location, or when you buy the wrong thing, that's when you learn what the right thing is. That's when you clean up your criteria. That's when you develop your buy box and you develop your systems. That's when you figure out who to hire and when to fire. You learn how to set up systems and processes when you're doing the work wrong. Y'all, I have lost millions of dollars in real estate investing in order to make millions of dollars in real estate investing. I have lost probably hundreds of employees in order to find the great employees that we have. I have gone through crazy stuff in order to deal with abundance, in order to deal with possibilities. And right now, I'm going through some stuff. But this stuff that I'm going through, I know is going to be the failure of doing stuff wrong that will and does continue to push me into the success of failing. The success comes from going through the wrong failures. Now, that said, none of us really want to burn our hand if we don't have to, right? So let's just jump into it. How can you avoid burning your hand if you don't have to? Okay. This is how you void your hand if you don't have to. Number one, you need to get education. Okay. Joining programs like ours, go to grabthemap.com, find materials, get in our coaching program, come to our weekly events that we hold for people that are interested in real estate investing. You need to do that. Get in education as much as you can. I would not necessarily say that you need to get the education before you start doing the work. As quickly as you can get into our how to get started in real estate and video and just start, the more you're going to learn. Because if you're making the calls to sellers, you're going to learn. If you're making the offers, you're going to learn. If you're responding to their replies, you're going to be learning all along. So I love to tell people, hey, it doesn't take me but a 1 hour conversation with you to tell you how to make money in real estate. It might take you years, though, to get started doing the work. And the first thing you need to do is get you an education, okay? Whether it's courses, pay for them. Every one of them pays off if you do the work. Whether it's a coaching program, pay for a coach. I pay several coaches. I pay probably too many coaches at this point. That helps you learn what's working for other people. It helps you avoid doing things that are wrong for too long. Okay. If you need to get an education, read books. If you buy a book or buy an audio book, your return on that could be exponential if you read it the right way at the right time and it clicks for you. And then you go implement what it is that you're actually reading. Look, y'all, there is no greater return that you'll ever get than on your own education. Okay. This is so important as a real estate investor. Get the education. The other thing you can do is partner up, right? You don't have to do your first deal alone. You don't have to do your first deal on your own. You can go out as a real estate investor and make money as a real estate investor, right? You can make offers. You can talk to sellers. You can do all of this stuff on your own, or you can partner up with somebody else that's already doing it. Maybe you've got capital and you want to put your money into their deal. We're always looking for deal partners. Okay. Maybe you've got a deal and you want to bring it to somebody who's got capital. We've got capital, right? But what you could do to avoid doing things wrong is partner up with somebody else. Go to their flip and see what they did. Let them tell you their story. Watch these videos and let people tell you about their failures. Okay. This might help you, okay, avoid some mistakes. Now, that said, you're still going to make your own mistakes. And when you make your own mistakes, that is the pathway to getting to your own success. Okay. I don't know anyone successful in real estate investing who would tell you that they did not fail. Okay. Not just by not doing the work, but also by doing the work wrong. That happens. It's probably going to happen to you in some area. And it's going to be the best thing that ever happened to you. It won't feel like it at the time. Ask me how I know. It will not feel like it at the time. It will feel like it sucks. It will be painful, but it will be good for you. Okay. Practical tips. Okay. For avoiding failing wrong. Hey, keep track of your failures, man. If you don't keep track of your failures, you're bound to repeat them. Okay. If you learn something about paying contractors too early before they do work, or if you learn something about your buy box, this type of house, you didn't make any money. If you learn something about a location, keep track when you make a mistake. Okay. There's a reason why I don't buy houses in the middle of nowhere. If the house isn't within proximity to a place where people are buying houses, I stay away. Why? Because I've lost money on houses when I bought them in areas where they were too far away from people. You learn, you keep track of your learning, and you don't make the same mistakes over and over again. Okay. If you make the same mistakes repeatedly, you will get the same results repeatedly. And it's likely that you'll give up before you have an opportunity to get to success in real estate. And so keep track of your failures. And then when you recognize the pattern, oh, I did this time. Okay. Make an adjustment, right? Make an adjustment. Maybe you get that deal cheaper. Okay. Maybe you use a different team to do this one. Maybe you have a plan to address the reason that it failed the last time. But don't just keep doing things over and over again, expecting different results. I want to talk about this last fear of failure. And then really, I want you to comment. I want you to send us an email. I want you to connect with me. I want you to subscribe to our channel if you like this content. I love coaching people, y'all. It's what I love to do. I love helping people grow. Some of my successful students, y'all, they have been afraid and then they took massive action and now they're building businesses of their own, not just real estate. Some of them are building real estate companies. They're building cleaning companies. They're building service-based businesses. Like this is something that I love and have a passion for doing, helping other people. But this last fear of failing when you do it right. And y'all, let me tell you something. If you do it right long enough, there is no such thing as failure. If you do the work of being a real estate investor, which I've already told you what those 5 things are, you're going to be so fulfilled. You're going to feel like you did everything that God intended you to do on this earth. You're going to feel like you've made it. you've arrived, well before you have the money in your checking account. You're going to feel like you've arrived well before every deal you do is perfect. Because when you fail doing it right, eventually you will start to stack up wins. Okay, you will start to stack up wins. When you flip that house perfect and it just doesn't sell, okay, you're also going to hit the timing in the market where it does sell. Okay, when you rent to that perfect tenant and they still don't pay you, you're also going to rent to that tenant that stays with you long enough to pay off the entire property. When you do it right, you're going to also benefit from what I think is God's idea, okay? That if you work, you will eat, okay? If you work, you will eat. There will be times of plenty and there will be times of famine. But you just keep getting up, talking to the sellers, making the offers, networking with other investors, journaling, and learning every day. I hope this video helps you as you think through your mindset on real estate investing. My name is John Crutchfield, and this is the Grab the Map podcast.